Hello Capricorn, fellow Capricorns. Thank you for joining me for your June tarot reading. For all my new viewers, my name is JJ and I welcome you to my channel. So thank you for bringing your energy into this reading. I have to shuffle extra well because I spent quite some time grounding these cards in the park today. So they've been arranged in order actually. But it's very appropriate, I feel, to start with Capricorn as we've grounded the energies in the cards themselves. And as you see, they are flying out now, which is beautiful. And the first card to fly out for you is one of my favorite cards, the Six of Cups here. Let's not jump to any conclusions though, right? But what is this? Disappointment? A loss of a partner? A loss of a soulmate? What are we talking about here with this Five of Cups? Could some Capricorns be worried about losing a connection they thought that they had started to establish with someone? Do you feel like you're being ganged up on at all, Capricorn? What's going on here? This is... I ask if you feel like you're being ganged up on because the Knight of Swords and the King of Wands are both charging towards the Five of Cups, which is looking back at the Six of Cups. Both the King of Swords and the Knight of Swords are looking in the direction of the Five of Cups. And he is paying attention to these three cups that have spilled in front of him, with his head bowed down, almost unwilling to look up and acknowledge this soulmate energy, or perhaps feeling a little bit embarrassed, in fact, that you may have jumped and made an assumption sooner than you should have about someone having this soulful connection with you. Does that resonate with anyone? It would be interesting to hear your feedback. And then this King of Pentacles flew out, and when he flew out, he landed, in fact, on this Six of Cups here, which tells me that if you are indeed wondering if you're ever going to meet the right person for you, Capricorn, since you may be having your doubts about people who are around you at this time, the answer then is yes, you will. Simply because I see this King of Pentacles here as being a compliment for you. If you're a female, then this would represent your king. And even if you are a male watching this, we don't need to be very gender specific. I'm simply going by the fact that this is a court card. It may as well be the Queen of Pentacles. To me, it's just some sort of validation that, you know what? Life is really too short for you to spend it dwelling on short-term relationships or flings, get-togethers that just don't seem to work out for you. It's one thing to go through a few relationships discovering that they're not for you, and another thing for that to happen and then for you to spend a substantial amount of time basically living it over again in your head, asking yourself why it didn't work out. When is it ever going to work out? Because as you do that, life is actually happening and passing you by. Yes, Capricorn, I'll say this again, okay? If you spend too much time deliberating on everything that just hasn't worked out for you so far, you're turning your back from the potential for you to live out more calmer times. This obsession, whatever it is, even though the Hermit does not really talk about obsession, but it's just this compulsion for us to go inwards, to dig out the truth, to somehow find a reason for whatever successes have just been passing us by, or things that we've been missing out on. Every time we think that we've hit gold, it turns out that this was just all in our head. It was a fantasy. Can we even trust ourselves to make the right decisions? Can we trust ourselves to find the right meaningful connections with others? What do we do every single time we fall head over heels and it just simply doesn't work out? The Hermit induces a very long-term state of just thinking and ruminating and just going over the details that have already transpired. So is it really worth revisiting again? Just question that. Ask yourself that. Do you really want to spend all that time thinking about the past? Thinking about what could have been? Or are you going to try to just move on in a more peaceful fashion? Oh. You know, it's really interesting because I was giving a Capricorn a reading yesterday, and a lot of this Capricorn's cards is now appearing in this general reading. But as I said, I actually spent quite a lot of time cleansing the energy from this deck, and I rearranged the deck in its original order. So for me to see a similar arrangement of cards come out now is quite fascinating. Yes, we were dealing with soulmate energy yesterday, and yes, it was extremely personalized and tailored for this particular Capricorn whom I was reading for, but there tends to be overlap between us when we move forward in our soul groups. I really genuinely believe that there isn't just one person out there for us in terms of soulmates or in terms of twin flames, for those of you who are keen on the topic of twin souls. I'm more of the belief that we are born into this life with multiple companions who show up during different times and different phases of our lives. And when we come together, when we regroup as as it is meant to be. And what is meant to be may not be in line with our vision of how we want to see our lives turn out. You'll come to find that sometimes even some of the most unfortunate events that happen because they are a stepping stone to a much larger evolution, which is what I really believe this world card is talking about here. And it's what I'm saying now to you is pretty much along the same lines of what I was addressing with this Capricorn yesterday. The fact that this world card goes beyond you as an individual and really taps into the potential that Capricorn can bring to the rest of community. That sometimes we have to take the hits in order for others around us to realize their potential. So let me try to provide an example that might hit home with some of you. If you meet a person and you fall head over heels, or at least you're quite attracted to this person and you want things to work out, this person may come to discover earlier on that you're not the right one for them. But depending on how they compose themselves, they may not want to let you off very, very easily. And a part of them may want to try and put in an effort to salvage things. They may want to, much like you, test the waters to basically give you a shot or give you a chance. But maybe somewhere down the line, they realize that they would be lying to themselves as much as they would be lying to you if they continued in a way that would make you temporarily happy. So by turning you down or disappointing you in ways, yeah, you are taking the hits and you're taking the brunt of it all. And they're walking away with a lot more empowerment. They're walking away feeling relieved. And that will sting for some of you, because it's not nice to hear that while someone's getting their way, which might not involve you anymore, which might not include you in their picture, you are being left alone. But what I'm trying to say again is that sometimes your loss is another person's gain. And what you have to struggle to let go of is something that those people have been struggling to learn. So you may have provided these people with that final lesson. In essence, though, you're really triggering or will be triggering this High Priestess energy, which says that it's really worth paying more attention to your initial gut feelings. Because you are a very grounded sign, you do have the ability to actually tap into knowledge that may not be available to others. You have the capacity to tap into other people's energies that way, to really understand what might be going on in those people's lives and how their energy might impact yours. So as much as you may find a few people quite attractive, if something at the pit of your stomach is telling you that it's not 100% right, then your job is to trust that gut instinct. As much as it might irk you, as much as it might come off as quite conflicting, because they may be really nice to you, they probably are really nice people. You being a great person, you also want things to work out. There's attraction there, but the chemistry is slightly off. And what do you do with that? What do you do with that? Do you go ahead with your first impression of this person? Charming, attractive, luring, intelligent, kind, the perfect package perhaps, except for that one small detail that's just putting you off somehow. Do you ignore that small detail, hoping it's going to go away? Or do you let it sting this time around? So the High Priestess really needs to be activated in June, Capricorn. By the end of June, if you are still having doubts about yourself, doubts about your gut instinct, then perhaps it is worth using this Hermit energy, since it's available here, to think about how you can strengthen your intuition that way. How you can make the most of an ugly situation. And you know what? This doesn't even have to be ugly at all. It's just that there is this feeling that you are perhaps coming to terms with the fact that not everyone is salvageable in your life. And if it stings, that's because they may be really, really great people, but the compatibility just isn't there. There are a lot of people looking away from your reading. The Five of Cups, the Knight of Swords, the King of Wands, the Hermit. But the people, the characters, the energies that you should pay attention to are this grounded energy, the King of Pentacles. The World, which is looking just ahead. The Six of Swords, which is trekking forward. And the High Priestess, which, as usual, is always looking ahead. And of course, we have the soulmate energy here, which is looking inwards. Which is not going away. So, yes, Capricorn, that's your reading. If I go on any further, I'm just going to be repeating myself, and no one likes that, no one wants that. So, short but to the point, concise reading. Some months are shorter than others, and seeing as I've kept you all waiting a very long time, I don't want to keep you here past a certain amount of time either. So, as always, I really appreciate your support and your love. Your feedback is welcome. If you'd like to share your insights with me to tell me whether or not this fit with your situation. I have not looked over any of the astrological events happening in June. therefore, this was a 100% intuitive reading, no more, no less, based on the Capricorn energies that I've picked up from fellow Capricorn friends, Capricorn within my own chart, and whatever channeled energy comes my way. So, I wish you all the best success in June, and I hope to come back with another reading soon. Take good care of yourselves in the meanwhile, Capricorn. Bye.